All right, here's some brief instructions on grading. Grades are, frankly, a little less important to the third-year students who take elective courses than grades are for first term, second term, and first and even second-year students. The winnowing process has concluded by the third year. That is, there are students whom the school academically dismisses, especially though after the first and second and third terms, so early in the first and second years. By the third year, the students are generally making the grade. Nearly all students have no threat of dismissal for academics, so grades are in that sense less important. Grades may actually be somewhat important in raising a grade point average for employment or other purposes, particularly for employment purposes. So some students will actually expect that elective courses, the grading is not as rigorous as the required courses early in their careers. The real point, though, is points are twofold. One is to follow the grading definitions. The grade definitions are in the Adjunct manual, but I look at them as this. To get an A in the course, the answer, the essay answer, if it's an essay, or the performance on the final exam must be equivalent to a practitioner in your field, the subject field. If it's employment law, then an employment lawyer. As you read the answer and think about it, it should sound like someone with whom you deal in your field, the subject field. And that you're perfectly competent to judge. The C grade, the lowest C, which would be the lowest passing grade, is the school defines as the minimum competence to pass the bar. And there are a lot of practitioners who are not in your field, all of whom have passed the bar, and they may have relatively little knowledge about your subject field because it's not their practice field. And yet they have a high-level sense of it. They understand something of its structure and some of its detail even, perhaps. And those would be C grades. And so between A, practitioner in your field, and C, the minimum competence to pass the bar, in other words, a practitioner not in your field, you can distribute the rest of the grade ranges for A minus, B, B minus, in relatively equal ranges, several points for each range, so they're not all clumped up one way or the other. Many times you'll see in elective courses mostly A's, A minuses, and B's. Sometimes you'll see a normal distribution, a bell curve. We do not curve grades. We use objective references. Criteria determine performance. The criteria I just gave you, basically the practitioner in the field or not in the field. So I hope this grade explanation helps. The real point, though, of third-year elective courses is engagement, professional development. And if you think that grading, indicating that you are a rigorous grader, would help engagement, then by all means communicate that. I think there are other ways to engage students than the fear of a poor grade. And those other ways may be better ways to engage students through inspiration, the quality, the variety of your instructional methods, for example, simulations, role plays, case studies, things like that, speakers and other things like that will engage the students actively in your subject. And I hope you use those other ways, but grades are a part of accountability, and you may certainly use that. We do, above all, ask that you do engage students. We want students to work effectively and to work hard in your course. Set that expectation, and they generally will do so, and again, grades are a part of that. Your grades I will review, as will Dean Cerconi, just to ensure some of these things that we've just discussed, but grading is your responsibility and your opportunity, and it is one assessment method, an accountability method too. So I hope this brief video has helped. Thank you.